As I mentioned in episode 3 towards the end, one of the ways that you can start to nurture those listeners into leads is by offering something so compelling, something of such value that your ideal client cannot wait to access. And that is your digital asset, or otherwise, as I like to call it, your irresistible signature giveaway. So your specific Thought Leader podcast series enables you to create that into an irresistible signature giveaway. As I mentioned in episode 3, this particular podcast series that I'm taking you through at the moment, Industry Thought Leader, and the 3 episodes plus a bonus one, is part of my irresistible signature giveaway. So let me ask you a question. Are you disappointed that the content that you've spent many hours creating isn't generating the amount of new business that you hoped it would? Well, don't be, because market research confirms that the number of people who are ready to make a purchase right now is only 3%. Now, 3%, that's an incredibly low number, isn't it? Especially when you consider that out of those 3% of people, an even smaller amount of them may be your ideal customer. In fact, I recently attended a business summit where the following stats were shown. 3% of people are buying right now. Now, this is stage 3, the decision stage of people as they're going through the purchaser's journey or the buyer's journey. Remember, the 3 stages are awareness, stage 1, consideration, stage 2, and decision, stage 3. 17% of people are proactively searching for a suitable solution, and that's what we would say is stage 2, consideration. 25% of people are aware they have a problem and are beginning their research, which is stage 1, awareness. And 55% of people are unaware they've got an issue and therefore they're not searching for a solution. So that kind of puts that into perspective, doesn't it? You can really see that you need to have a lot of content out there so that you can continue to nurture people through that piece of content so that you can specifically speak to that small portion of the 3% of people. Now, this raises a question. How, as a change maker and an aspiring thought leader, can you stand out from all of that online noise to capture the attention of your ideal client who are aware that they have a problem and they're beginning their research for a suitable solution? How can you provide real value so that your solution is one that's considered as a viable option as they move into decision-making mode? And how do you engage, how do you educate, and how do you entice him or her to select to do business with you when they're ready to make a purchase? Well, firstly, I'd recommend not even concerning yourself with the 55% of people who are not even aware that they have an issue. You're going to wear yourself out trying to convince them that they have an issue. Instead, focus on creating such valuable content for your potential customers who are already in either one of the 3 stages of the buyer's journey, namely awareness, consideration, and decision. And in fact, you should have pieces of content across all of those key stages. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Now, note that when you do set this up properly and you have the most relevant content in the right sequence, should people in that 55% stage start to gain awareness of their issues and they begin their search for a solution, they're going to automatically opt into that sequence, which is really your funnel, which you've created. And that funnel that we're recommending to our clients and that we're helping clients to develop is called your podcast profit pipeline. And that's one of the podcast profit models that I share in all of the work that I do. And of course, in my book, Industry Thought Leader, How to Go from Invisible to Influential and Profitable with a Podcast. So let's dive into each of these stages while also sharing you a little bit of information around what kind of content can you include in each of these stages. So stage 1 is awareness. This is where the content that you provide is valuable information and it allows your ideal client to recognize that you know what he or she is going through and that you've got a valuable solution to help them. And your call to action invites them to learn more and invites them to gain access to additional resources in exchange for their email address. So that's your list building strategy. Now, according to Track Films, who have worked with numerous B2B customers, 52% of B2B buyers began their buying process with informal research, and 78% of that research began online.